Casey Kochman provided the fireworks, sending a blast to dead center for a walk-off 2-1 victory. Last night in Game 2, James Shields shut down the Royals 4-0 for his 8th complete game of the year. Tonight, Wade Davis takes his turn trying to keep the Rays moving in the right direction. Game 3, Rays and the Royals coming up on Sun Sports. Welcome to Tropicana Field. The homestand continues. The Rays 5-3 on the 10-game homestand. And tonight, Game 3 of the 4-game series against the Kansas City Royals. It's a Web Wednesday. You're going to ask the broadcast anything you might have in mind. Just log on to foxsportsflorida.com. Click on Game Connect. Going to ask the broadcast. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to an evening of Rays baseball with Brian Anderson. I'm Dwayne Stats. It's good to have you with us. Todd Callis will be along in just a few moments. Rays winners last night again over Kansas City, and they did it on the strength, number one, of Evan Longoria's bat. It's been a frustrating year for Evan, but lately that extra work apparently paying off. He drove in all 4 runs last night.
Yeah, got the big single in the first inning to give the Rays a 2-run lead, and then in the bottom of the 6th, really put the game away with the 2-run home run. And really, you look at the homestand. He's got a 6-game hitting streak, but how about the power numbers? The slugging percentage, very good. He's driven in 9 runs in those 6 games. The 3 home runs, like you said, Dwayne, doing a lot of extra work. The hitting, and, you know, it's paying off not only with the results, but with the passing the eye test, because you look and you start to see that powerful, explosive swing of Evan Longoria once again. As he starts to swing, the hands are really getting through that hitting zone quickly. Ball's jumping off the bat.
Yeah, starting pitching, a real strong suit of the Rays all year. We saw that last night with James Shields. And tonight, Wade Davis goes to the mound, coming off a very good rookie season last year. Since the All-Star break this year, interestingly enough, first inning problems, which means that either an adjustment on the middle side, on the physical side, or maybe both would be in order.
Well, we're going to try the physical side tonight. You're absolutely right. First inning blues. The last 3 starts, he's given up 10 runs in the first inning of those 3 starts. After that, he's given up basically nothing. So what he's going to do tonight is he's going to go out, work a little bit harder in the bullpen, and try to come into the game and not be as amped up, because once he's gotten past those first innings, he has been very good. You've seen the stuff sharpen up. Command has gotten better. Results way better.
In our Coventry Healthcare pitching matchup tonight, Wade Davis, by the way, one of those first inning problem starts was against Kansas City on the road, and he will be opposed tonight by Felipe Paulino, right-hander with a very good arm. He's 1-4 with Kansas City, but has pitched much better with the Royals than he did with Colorado over in the National League. Todd Callis will be along in just a moment. He'll explore the success of a starting pitcher and what the catcher means to all of that. We'll be back in a moment.
Tropicana Field is site on a Wednesday night for the Rays and the Royals' third game of this four-game series. Last night, a masterpiece turned in by James Shields, and he was working so well with Kelly Shopping. They were absolutely locked in. Here's a look once again. Never gets old to see James Shields dominating his fourth complete game shutout, his 8th complete game of the year. Of his 8 CGs, 6 of them have been caught by that guy right there, Kelly Shopping. Look at that devastating changeup, and then he would freeze Pena on the fastball, then a little tailing changeup. A lot of swings and misses on that changeup last night. The last one a little bit up in the zone, but Jeff Francoeur swung through it. Catcher-pitcher relationship, a very special thing, as James Shields and Kelly Shopping talk about.
You start thinking about what's working well and what kind of patterns you've gotten into. Especially as the game goes on, you face a guy a couple of times, you realize what he was looking for in the previous at-bat. You always want to have the pitcher's input no matter what. I mean, you guys are out there working together, so if any time you don't agree on a pitch, you have to shake. You have to get to the right pitch every time, or if you don't, you're not going to have the conviction to throw it to get an out with it.
Not only were those guys locked in last night, these guys are locked in tonight. Dwayne Stats, Brian Anderson will answer all your questions if you log on to foxsportsflorida.com and click on Game Connect. A very serious look right there as we are ready for baseball. 2 minutes, 40 seconds away from the first pitch. Wade Davis and the Rays against Felipe Paulino and the Royals. Dwayne and BA with all the action on our website Wednesday. Coming up next on Sun Sport.
AutoWay is part of AutoNation, the largest automotive retailer in the country, so we can do big things. By AT&T, by Coventry Healthcare of Florida, lighting the way to better health, and by Toyota, moving forward. Tonight, the Rays and the Kansas City Royals square off. The Rays have taken the first 2 games by scores of 2-1 and 4-0. And tonight, send Wade Davis to the mound against this Kansas City lineup. Alex Gordon's going to lead it off again in left, followed by Melky Cabrera. Billy Butler's the DH. Larry Cosver at first. Hits cleanup in front of the right fielder, Jeff Francoeur. Johnny Giavotella is at second base, batting 6th. Making his major league debut, Salvador Perez, the 21-year-old catcher. Mike Moustakas is at third, and Alcides Escobar is the shortstop, and he will bat ninth.
Now making the start tonight for the Tampa Bay Rays, right-hander Wade Davis. It'll be his 21st start of the season, an 8-7 record. ERA in the mid-4s.
First pitch of the game, and that's a strike call. Alex Gordon starting the night hitting .302. And he lines it foul the other way. 0-2. Gordon in the first game of this series doubled on the second pitch of the game. That snapped an 0 for 37 for him here at Tropicana Field. And he's since gone 0 for 7. Takes a pitch inside. It's 1-1. The pitch is down. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, we reference Wade Davis and his first inning problems, and he's trying to go out there a little less amped than he has been in the first inning.
Good luck. That's always easy to say. A lot tougher to do.
Strike 3 called, and there's a good start. Pitch down around the knees, a fastball gets Gordon looking.
And that has been the key. Wade Davis in those past 3 games where he's had the rough first innings, a lot of balls elevated in the strike zone. Here in the early going, he's been down mostly or below the zone. He had the 1 pitch up and in, but that was a purpose pitch. Other than that, everything in the bottom half of that strike zone, that's the #1 good sign here for Wade Davis.
Now Melky Cabrera, and the first pitch is a strike. Cabrera stepped back, but did not get time granted. And so that's a strike. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
And that's what's jumping out at you right now. Wade Davis is getting the ball down. He's working quickly, good rhythm, down in the zone.
And a little tap, shortstop off the breaking ball, and a nice play there by Sean Rodriguez. How about that?
That was awesome. That was not, I mean, that was a slow roller, but had some chop to it. Not an easy play at all. Sean Rodriguez getting a nice jump on this, but going bare hand on a ball, catching it nicely. Nice throw over to Casey Kochman. Boy, I'll tell you what, Sean Rodriguez has really gone out, started to play shortstop every day the last couple of weeks, and has done a really nice job.
Yeah, that has not been lost on Joe Madden. You know, there were those who wondered if he could play shortstop. He's had a chance to play it on a prolonged stretch here, and Joe Madden's been very pleased with what he's seen out of Sean Rodriguez at shortstop.
Well, I saw him going down for that bare hand right there, and I thought that is risky because that ball's got top spin. It's going to spin around in the hand, tough to get rid of with the throw. Boy, he made that play look like he does it every day.
1-1 the count to Billy Butler. A little smile on Joe Madden's face every time. Two and one now. Gordon has struck out. Cabrera grounded out on the outstanding play by Rodriguez. 2-1. That's a strike.
I'll tell you what, I'll tell you, Wade Davis extremely sharp here in the early going. How about this curveball? Little front door. Freezes Billy Butler. Takes it, catches the inside corner. Can't do it much better.
And a swing and a miss. Fastball mid-90s to strike out Butler. Davis retires the side 1-2-3 here in the first. Wade Davis. Braves will have Matt Joyce leading off, followed by Johnny Damon and then Evan Longoria. Vin Zobrist, Casey Koshman, and B.J. Upton down the middle, with Sam Folds starting, playing left field, hitting in front of Robinson Chirinos, and then Sean Rodriguez all against Felipe Polino. And his first pitch is a fastball up and away. Polino with a very good arm.
Converted reliever. Those are his numbers with Kansas City. He's got the 11 starts, 1-4 record. The ERA very respectable, mid-3s.
Pitch is in there for a strike. Matt Joyce up in the leadoff spot for the first time this year. And there's a strike, another fastball on the inside part of the plate.
It was actually nice to see because we haven't had a Joe Madden surprise in a while. I mean, it's been Jennings, Damon, Longoria. We get it. It's time to mix it up a little bit.
So he gives Desmond Jennings a day off, and lo and behold, here's Matt Joyce, the choice to go into the leadoff spot. A 2-2 count. Into the dirt.
Well, you can see Felipe Polino. He does have the good arm. He's a high energy guy. He yanked that slider down and in. The first fastball just about went to the screen. So be ready. Power stuff, and can be a bit of a loose cannon.
And a fly ball short center. That's going to fall for a base hit. So Joyce is aboard. Just like a leadoff hitter is supposed to, he gets aboard to start the inning.
And saw a lot of pitches. Worked the count full. Let's look at the Kansas City defense. Left to right in the outfield. Alex Gordon, Melky Cabrera, and Jeff Francoeur. Across the infield, third to first, Mike Moustakas, Alcides Escobar, Johnny Giavotella, Eric Hosmer. Behind the plate tonight, Salvador Perez, his major league debut.
Johnny Damon jumps on the first pitch and lines it foul into the stands. Hard hit line drive there on the fastball. Strike one. Rays starting the night 61 and 54. Two, it's fouled back. The pitch is down. 1 ball and 2 strikes. It'll be kind of interesting tonight because you can run on Polino, but this young catcher, Perez, is supposed to have maybe the quickest release that their manager, Ned Yost, has ever seen.
And I'm sure that Joe Madden will put him to the test before the night is over.
Pitch down and in, and Damon held up. They actually project Salvador Perez to be their #1 catcher next year, and so they get him up from AAA. It's been a good part of this year, AA, and then a stop in Omaha at AAA, and now making his big league debut tonight.
Well, watch him get ready right here. He already gets up in a crouch, a modified crouch where he's up a little bit. That'll help you with your release. You're already in a better throwing position. He's got the wide base. Legs are ready to fire. It's as quick as that hand can get the ball out of the glove to the ear and to second base. Watch, he gives the sign, and then he'll get his little...
Full count here to Damon.
Figure it out, fellas.
There goes the runner, and the pitch hit on the ground to third. Moustakas takes the throw to first, and for a moment, third base was uncovered. But Joyce had to remain at second. Perez wound up going down to cover the bag.
Now, tonight's game is available in Espanol via secondary audio programming brought to you by Coventry Healthcare of Florida. That would be SAP.
I am continued to be impressed by your research on that whole SAP matter.
Well, it just goes back to credibility.
Yep.
Know what you're selling.
And homework. Willing to put in the preparation time.
All afternoon.
Here's Evan Longoria. Pitch to Evan is a strike. 11 driving in 4 runs last night. Hit a 2-run home run in the 6th inning. Has a chance to put the Rays on top here in the first tonight. Lifts the fly ball into right center. Francoeur is going to be there to make the catch. There will be no attempt at an advance. The throw offline, but Joyce was staying put at second. 2 gone. Ben Zobrist will be the hitter. Ben 274 for the year. The pitch outside, 1-0. The Rays saw Paulino over in Kansas City on the 24th of July. And got to him for 4 runs in 5 2/3 en route to a 5-0 victory.
Yeah, he's another one of those guys, too, that you can attack early in the count, first couple of pitches. Batting average almost 200 points higher than anything after.
Swing and a miss, throw back to second, and back in at Joyce. And there's a look at Perez's arm. And a good throw indeed back to second by the rookie catcher.
Well, that wasn't a stolen base attempt, and watch right here. Talk about getting rid of it in a hurry. Strong arm right on the bag. In fact, he even threw it to the right side of the bag, the shortstop side. Matt Joyce just barely able to get back in there. So, yeah, he can throw. Catch and throw.
1-1 is tap foul. 2 strikes. So Perez, Salvador Perez, making his major league debut and already making his presence felt with that peg down to second.
And don't think that people don't, take notice of that. You shorten up that secondary lead out at second base. That may allow that outfield, which leads Major League Baseball in assists, to get a shot here.
Down and in, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Last thing you want to do as a base runner is be caught off the bag a little bit too far, thrown behind you, and get picked off. Extremely embarrassing. Does not make your manager very happy.
Into the dirt and blocked nicely by Perez. The count goes full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. So there's some agility here.
Now another yank on the slider, and look at him get over. He gets the glove in the proper position, and you see the lean, trying to lean over that baseball so that he is able to smother it and keep it in front of him rather than sit up tall. That ball could bounce anywhere.
Three-two. Foul ball in at the feet of the plate umpire. Bill Miller is calling the balls and strikes tonight. Darrell Cousins, who missed last night's game because of illness, and we played the game with 3 umpires, and Bill Miller slides in to join this crew tonight. Zobrist about to see another 3-2 pitch. And he takes ball 4. Zobrist draws the walk. Took the slider 3-2. It's going to get Casey Kochman up there.
Well, this was a close pitch there by Paulino. I've seen Ben Zobrist lately starting to chase that pitch a little bit with 2 strikes. That hard-breaking slider. Did a nice job there of holding up, and another base runner for the Rays here in the first.
Well, Kochman had a double off Molina at Kansas City in 3 at-bats. Starts the night second in the American League in the batting race at .338. And he lifts a fly ball into left. Gordon will go back just to the track and makes the catch, retiring the side. Rays strand 2. We go to the second, no score. First inning by Wade Davis on our Toyota Inside Look. A 13 pitch first. You got Alex Gordon looking on a fastball, then a breaking ball, and he got a good play out of Sean Rodriguez. And then he struck out Billy Butler, and look at this pitch.
Trying to get a little extra on the fastball. You saw that little modified turn in Wade Davis' delivery. He's usually straight up and down with that lead leg, but there was a slight little turn trying to get a little bit more, create some deception, and he blew it by him.
The next pitch to Hosmer, it's in there for a strike, and it's 1-1. He gets a little deception and a little more leverage, and there's a fine line there. There's the strike, and the count is 1-2. A little bit of that gives you the leverage. Too much creates problems.
Well, that's what happened to James Shields last year. A little bit too much rotation, and all of a sudden things start to flatten out. You can't get on top of the ball. You can't drive it down. The fastball stays up, and consequently, if the fastball's up and you can't get that down mechanically, guess what? The breaking pitches, the off speed, the changeup is going to follow suit. So you got to be careful.
Broken bat and a one-hopper out to second. Zobrist with a quick toss to first. Farrell then winds up halfway between first and second, and Hosmer's the first out.
Well, let's take a look at this bat break here in Fox mode. I mean, get in there.
I'm going to tell you, I think the first inning by Davis might be his best inning of the year, and he just followed it up with a great pitch to Hosmer right there to break his bat.
I wouldn't disagree with that. Very sharp. And you know what I really loved is, yeah, he kept the ball down. That's great. But his tempo, outstanding.
Yep.
I mean, just get the look at him. Getting it and throwing it.
One
Ready
strike
to go.
Count here to Francoeur already.
Yep, in attack mode. You see Francoeur stepping out.
Yep, already.
Yeah, I mean, you got a guy that's dictating the tempo of the game like that. You're going to have to step out on him.
So down and in, and really Davis has gone to the mound tonight, giving the impression that he's tired of that first inning problem that he's had the last 3 outings. And he's zipped right through the first and has attacked the second inning with the same gusto.
Yeah, he looks like a very determined pitcher. You know, he had something to prove. Well, think about it. His last 3 outings, he's thrown 18 innings, and 10 of the runs he's given up have been in the first inning of each one. So outside of that, 3 runs in 15 innings.
Swing and a miss. He takes care of Francoeur. And boy, I'll tell you, you just hope that he can keep this up because he's got great stuff tonight.
Velocity, 94, up and away. See Frank Corey blows it right by him. He just powers that fastball off the plate, up in the zone. Good velocity.
Giovatello, the second baseman, and he starts him with that little breaking ball. That's a nice pitch.
Sharp curveball early in the count, strike one.
And he comes right back with another one.
And had that little twist again in the mechanics, in the motion. A little twist there, drops another curveball right to the bottom of the zone.
Two-strike count. Upstairs. It's 1-2. That was very close.
As in, if very close, means
Fastball.
strike three.
Wow, take a look at this. Oh.
That's right there at the knees. Well, you know what happens so many times. You've seen it. The catcher reaches, you don't get the call.
And now a base hit into right field. Over to make the pickup is Joyce. And Giovatello has a single.
It's almost like you get penalized for not hitting your spot. They were set up for a fastball in, and because it came back over the plate and Chirinos had to reach, it's almost like you get penalized for that. And all of a sudden, you throw another pitch, you go with the breaking ball, 2 strikes. Giovatello is trying to protect. He's able to get one that's elevated just a little bit and shoot that ball into right field for a base hit.
Well, here's Salvador Perez, the 21-year-old catcher, making his big league debut and his first plate appearance for Kansas City. And he takes a strike.
Unless he reaches with an 0-0 count against a rookie making his major league debut, then it's a
different
strike.
story. Yeah,
that's right.
I got you. Perez played in 12 games for the Storm Chasers at Omaha. He's been at Northwest Arkansas. Pops it up. Foul ball. That's going to carry out a play. And it's a 2-strike count. He had 283 at Arkansas and was 16 out of 48 at AAA. 333. Over to first and back in. Giovatello. Tap foul. So the count is still 2 strikes. Todd Callis has done some research on prior Salvadors who have played in Major League history. He's a big fan of Salvador Dali, as we all are. And there have been 3. There he is.
Wow. Wow. Could have done without that.
2 strikes the count. And a foul ball back. Well, one of them was a former pitcher with the Cleveland Indians in 1930. Salvador Gliado. Then in 1942 and 43, the Cubs had a catcher named Salvador Hernandez. They called him Chico. And Salvador Evers, catcher with the New York Giants and the Cardinals from 47 through 54. Ground ball to shortstop. Sean Rodriguez with a toss to Zobrist. So the fielder's choice ends the inning. We go to the bottom of the second. No score.
The Rays. Time now for our Ask the Announcer on website Wednesday. You can log on to foxsportsflorida.com and click on the Game Connect link as you see BJ pop one foul down the first base side and not able to make the catch. Eric Hosmer over first base. Time now for the question. Ken wants to know, what do you think of adding a second wild card team, guys, in each league to the playoffs?
I think it's a great idea. And they can do it fairly simply. You know, we've heard a lot about realignment and all that, but they don't necessarily have to even get into much of that. And right now, I think it would create a lot more interest. I mean, if you look right now, the wild card race, the Yankees have a 6-game lead on the Angels, and 8.5 in front of the Rays. Everybody else 11.5 and 12.5 and all that. And the Yankees, of course, trail Boston by 2.5 in the regular standings. There's a shot foul. But look at this. If there were 2 teams eligible in the battle, you'd have a completely separate race for that second spot. Now the Rays are 2.5 back. You got Cleveland and Toronto 5.5 back. The White Sox would still be in it with between 45 and 50 games left to play, 6.5 back. Now you've got an added race. You've got all of those extra teams, I think, with a shot to get to the postseason. Cabrera is there for this one and takes care of the fly ball off the bat of B.J. Upton. And the same thing in the National League if you broke that down. But that example in the American League right there, I think is a reason to do it. And let's do it now.
And more.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's, hey, what you're talking about right now is adding more drama to the end of a baseball season.
Absolutely.
By only adding 1 team in each league.
Yeah.
I mean, already on a percentage basis, baseball, the teams that get into the playoffs, pretty small.
Yeah.
You know, overall. And so, yeah, adding 1 team, no question. You would liven up August and September for a lot, more teams. And what could be bad about that?
Yeah.
And what would be bad?
Well, to me, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I mean, from a fan interest and from the from the revenue side, it's got to be a win-win.
Well, think about that. You're absolutely right. All of a sudden, a team like the Rays go from 8.5 out to 2.5 out overnight.
Yeah.
Hey, there's something to be excited for.
So that's why we should do it right now. Let's not wait until next year.
You weren't kidding.
Yeah,
you were saying as of August 10.
Yeah, let's just do it. Bull draws a walk. I mean, look at all of this. I mean, there you are, 2.5. These games have meanings. And there's another side to this that will really make it interesting. I think, for an example, you got Boston up on New York by 2.5. Well, there's a race, but not really a tight race. So the Yankees or the Red Sox go, hey, one of us is going to finish first, one of us is going to finish in the wild card. So big deal, right? Well, what if that wild card winner out of the AL East now has to play in as a wild card winner on your second wild card? And what if that's a 1-game or even a 3-game? We talked about this before. What would it be? A 1-game play-in or a 3-game series between the wild card guys, to eliminate that,
that's right,
that second wild card? Either one is not going to make, let's say as the standings are right now, Boston would win and New York would finish second. The Yankees aren't going to be happy playing in a 1-game playoff or a 3-game series.
Yeah.
So now they're going to battle each other even more to win the division.
More drama.
Yeah.
It's
so
all about the drama.
Yeah.
If you can kick up more drama, it's good for everybody. I mean, unless it's in your personal life, and then you want to.
I've come to know that you live that drama.
Honestly.
And that makes your life very interesting.
It's amazing I get to work every day, Dwayne.
You've got a lot of wild card races going on in your life, but that's a whole other story that we'll do sometime after midnight and discuss that on another cable channel. But here is the American League East right now. And so I think it would make the division race even more interesting. So you've got races everywhere.
Again,
let's do it now.
I like it. I do. So all that to say, 2 enthusiastic thumbs up.
Yeah, we're for it. Okay, glad we had that question. Wow, that really got us going. 2-1. The guys in the truck, you know, these guys, we have the best. These guys are the best. I mean, right away we start talking about it. They've got standings right there. I mean,
fire it up.
Yeah,
at their fingertips.
So they must like it too. Way to go, guys. 2-1 the count to Chirinos. Runner goes. Ball hit on the ground to third. Moustakas across to Hosmer. And Fold moves up to second base with Chirinos out third to first. I mean, that would be great. I mean, to come in here and go, hey, the Rays are 2.5 back in that wild card chase. I mean, every inning, every pitch, all of these games take on added value.
I could not agree more.
They could do it now. Just, the commissioner has powers. He could just wave his hand and it would be done. Imagine the headlines tomorrow if tonight he just said, I'm declaring and this is going to be so. He could do that. Sean Rodriguez swinging and missing. He could just invoke the best interest of baseball clause, which he has jurisdiction under that. He could do almost anything he wants, including this.
I'm afraid of you right now.
It just could be done. Why wait around?
You remember that the shot of Todd going to break?
Yes.
Yeah, you have that same look in your eyes, except this time I'm a lot closer. You look like a Wolverine.
Thank you. I thought Todd looked alive. I thought that was a good shot of him. So
yeah,
I mean, when I say thank you, I mean I'm serious.
He's on the cast of Night of the Living Dead. Maybe that's good. He's at the ballpark in
2
purple.
strikes. Hey, he did research on the prior Salvadors who played in the big leagues.
I nodded off on the second one. I didn't hear about any others.
Well, there are a few others who weren't Salvadors, but like the Italian version of that. We could get into that if you want. Sal Magli, for an example. Salvatore. Salvando. Sean Rodriguez lets a popper to the right side. Gio Vitella, he would appreciate these. Sal Butera, Sal Visano. We're through 2, no score. How do you like that? Stockus, the third baseman, leads it off. First pitch from Wade Davis is up and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Wade gave up a base hit in the second inning. That's been it so far. Another pitch away, and it's 2-0. Escobar next, and then the top of the order, Gordon. 2-1. Davis right back in, and he throws it by him. Good job. Fastball. It's 2-2. Strikeouts in the first inning. Strikeout in the second. Pitch foul. Count still 2-2. And a swing and a miss. Fastball against Moustakas.
Start your weekend off right with Friday Fest presented by Captain Morgan when the Rays kick off their homestand against the Seattle Mariners on August the 19th. The first 10,000 fans receive a collectible David Price t-shirt presented by the St. Petersburg Times. Visit RaysBaseball.com to get your tickets right now.
Here's Escobar. The pitch is a strike. Side, it's 1-1. Ball, 2 strikes. And into short. Comes up on Sean Rodriguez, and the throw is high. And fortunately for the Rays, that hit the railing in front of the camera well and stayed playable, where it was backed up by Chirinos, and that keeps Escobar at first base. That's going to be an error charged to Sean Rodriguez.
So this ball just comes up on Shaw off the heel. He recovers, gets the ball, and in his haste, he doesn't really not able to step into that throw. Actually stepped into it too much. A little airmail action.
Now the top of the order is Alex Gordon. Pitch is down.
Those middle infielders, especially the shortstop, making a long throw, they like to field that ball in rhythm, take a couple of crow hops, and then fire it over there. Because he had to hurry, he had to just step and throw, and because he was hurrying, he just puts a little something extra on it, release point a little bit high, and the ball sailed.
Cut the miss. 1-1. Move on Escobar. He's back in. Over to first again, and Escobar is back in. Miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Our producer Mike Griffin, VA, tells us that we had another email and a follow-up question about that potential second team for each league in the wild card, and whether you'd prefer a 1-game or a 3-game series. 1-game playoff or the 3-game.
I would like 3. I think 3 is the in baseball, 1 game, anything could happen, and 3-game obviously is not perfect, but one game, you could be a wild card team, throw out your ace, he has a great game, and you move on the basis of just one pitching performance.
Yeah, that's probably, as they consider this going forward, it's such I think a natural idea for it to actually happen. I'd be surprised if it doesn't. But that's probably going to be the biggest discussion. Is it going to be a one-game playoff, or is it going to be a 3-game series? And the pitch is fouled out of play. You'd want to start that as soon as let's assume that it's a 3-game. I think you just want to do it as soon as you could, because the other clubs are going to say, well, wait, baseball's a little different in some of the other sports, because you don't want downtime. You want to minimize that. You'd like to get a day or two of rest, but you don't want a lot of downtime, do you?
No, not at all. I mean, baseball's a skill sport, and it's a repetition sport. So, the longer that you're out, I mean, I can remember being out, a day off. Sometimes you come in after a day off and go to play catch, and you're like, wow, when was the last time I did this?
Yeah.
Really, it's after one day. The All-Star break. That's why every team will have that workout on the last day of the All-Star break to get guys, get their legs back underneath them, get the the hand-eye coordination, get all those muscles and everything firing again, because a couple of days off in this game, sometimes can feel like an eternity when you get back out on the field.
2-2 is lifted toward the line and left. Sam Bold out there making the catch. 2 gone. Melky Cabrera is on his way to the plate. So here's a guy who's had a good year. Kansas City picked him up, and you talk about a great bargain. He had a down year in the National League last year in Atlanta, and has come to Kansas City, and most people following this Kansas City club will tell you that he's been a very positive force on this club. He's gotten himself into great shape. He's been very consistent. You can see last year 255 with just 4 homers, and this year 13 home runs. He's hitting over 300.
Maybe something to be said for coming back to the American League too, a league that he's familiar with.
He lines this one, headed toward the right field corner. Joyce goes in after it. Escobar is going to be held at third. It's a double for Cabrera. So the Kansas City Royals have a scoring threat with 2 outs in the third. Well, Cabrera with his 31st double of the year, and he's not feeling completely chipper right now.
There he is as he picks up to second base. Those steps seem to get a little bit shorter and shorter, pulling up. Yeah, he doesn't look right at all. I'll tell you what, Matt Joyce did a nice job on that ball, hustling down into the corner to get it and keep Escobar from coming all the way around to score.
Now it's Billy Butler. Butler, 300 on the year with men in scoring position. The pitch is outside. A ball and no strikes. Cabrera with a big lead off second base. I mean, he's matching Zobrist as far as he is back and off the bag.
Well, you got Wade Davis too out of the windup, so he feels like he can get a ton.
Yep. And a little tap foul. It's 1-1. I mean, he was on that first pitch especially.
Yeah, the first pitch he kind of got a walking half running lead, you know, almost as if he's testing whatever issue he has going on. Whatever we saw between first and second base, where it looked like his stride changed, shortened up quite a bit. It was almost like he was testing that out, like, hey, if I have to go here, can I?
And a high fly ball back into deep right center. Upton over there for it on the run, and he makes the catch. That will retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 2 left. Bottom of the third coming, no score. Joyce leads off. He's out of the leadoff spot tonight. Fouls the first pitch back. Felipe Polito, the hard-throwing right-hander, on the mound. 1 strike to count to Joyce. He'll be followed by Johnny Damon and Evan Longoria. Pitch is in, and we're joined by the Rays pitching coach, Jim Hickey. Jim, great to have you with us.
It's good to be here.
Let's talk Wade Davis for a couple of minutes here. High fly ball back into right. Rancourt will go back to the edge of the track to make the catch. That's the first out. Certainly no, with the capital N, no first inning concerns tonight.
Well, it was kind of a point. We've made a point to try to get past that a little bit, to warm up in the bullpen with maybe a little bit more effort and to come out there with a little bit more of a not a better game plan necessarily, but you know, a little bit more intensity, if you will. I really don't like the word intensity, but maybe just a little bit more focused. And you know, he touched 94 and 95 miles an hour in the first inning. One of my clown pitchers. He touched 94, 95 in the first inning, and that's always a good sign.
Fly ball to left by Damon, and Gordon lost that at the last moment in the lights. 2 gone.
Well, is that something, Jim? Is that something that you work, with him on in between starts? I mean, down in the bullpen, a point of emphasis, or is that just something you talk about and you make it happen today? And well, more importantly, after that, in seeing what one of your clown pitchers is doing behind you, how in the world, what's the biggest challenge in managing 11, 12, 13 different pitchers on one staff?
Well, the turning it up in the first inning is something that we have talked about. We've worked in the bullpen, to kind of have a little bit more aggressive workout, a little bit more aggressive warm-up prior to the ball game. And he did that today. And as far as the 12 or 13 other juveniles I have to deal with, it's just one day at a time. You just try to keep your sanity and get through it.
What a run the count here to Evan Longoria. Go ahead, Jim.
They're very talented juveniles, though.
Makes it easier.
Pitch is down. 2 balls and a strike. Well, you've got Wade Davis going tonight, and Jeff Neiman's going to pitch tomorrow. And based on what we saw from him last time, that's very encouraging. That, however, is not. It struck Bill Miller. think it went right by Perez and got Miller in the right arm. So the count is 3-1. But the progress for Neiman, he made some pitches in his last outing that were just unbelievable.
Well, I think the big difference between Jeff now and Jeff before is just health and confidence. You know, he probably wasn't fully healthy before, and now he is. He's able to do some things, especially with the curveball. You know, he's thrown it up to 35 times in an outing, which is, you know, that's a pretty big number right there. But the back is healthy, and he's got some confidence, and I think you're seeing, you know, a lot closer to the real Jeff Neiman right now than you did prior to the injury.
Yeah, before we let you go, here's Evan. Well, we might have to let you go. The little tap down to second, and he's out of there. Any quick word on Alex Cobb before we go to break?
Now, we heard Alex Cobb was going to have at least one procedure, and I guess possibly based on that outcome, maybe two. I'm not positive on the details of all that, but we should know something in a couple of days.
Okay, thank you, Jim. We appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you.
We are through 3, no score. Happy looking in. Rays and the Royals are scoreless. Time for our AT&T trivia question. With Kansas City in town, the 3 jersey numbers have been retired by the Kansas City Royals. They've retired 3. Rick Hosmer takes a big cut, fouls it back, and that's a strike. Just down. It's 1-1. Breaking ball, it stayed up and away, and now it's a 3-1 count. 4 strikeouts tonight for Wade Davis. No runs on 2 hits. And a big cut and a miss on a 3-1 fastball. Hosmer looking fastball 3-1, and he let it out and missed the pitch. Do it again. Another fastball in the mid-90s that time. Pop up, left side, foul ball. Chirinos covered a lot of ground to get over in front of the dugout to make the catch on that one. That's a nice play right there.
That was really nice. Chirinos hopped quick out of the crouch. Had to run over up the third base line over towards the dugout, make a nice play. Well, get ready to save the day on Sunday, August the 21st, with a superhero action figure of David Price featuring his Super Dog Astro, presented by Metro PCS. You definitely want to pick up that dynamic duo, and you can do so by visiting raysbaseball.com to get your tickets right now. Bag of sunflower seeds sold separately.
Cut and a miss by Francoeur. Count is 1-1. The line drive, base hit into center field. Upton reaching down to cut it off, and Francoeur is going to take advantage and hustle his way into second. Boy, you could see that coming. Francoeur hustling out of the box, and as Upton went over and reached down to make the pickup and turned to make the throw back towards second base, Francoeur was on his way there with a double.
Well, here it is, a ball. He stays on it. The breaking ball. Look at running hard the whole way, eyeballing out there. No hesitation whatsoever. Makes it easy. Here's the shot of it. This ball's a long way out there.
So Francoeur with his 33rd double. You know, he mirrors the story of Melky Cabrera, really, as the Royals brought him in along with Cabrera, and they both had good years. Strike one. Giovatello missing that first pitch.
And I'll tell you what, that's probably why more than likely they're going to be back with this Kansas City ball club. They came in, got playing time. Francoeur's had a nice year. Cabrera, very nice year. Like you said, Dwayne, we were on Kansas City. Melky Cabrera just 26 years old. Hard to believe.
Fly ball right center field. That ball's going to be in there. One hop and to the wall. Francoeur scores. Giovatello's on his way to third. He's going to make it without a play. Triple for the Kansas City second baseman, and the Royals take a 1-0 lead. That's his first triple, and it chases home Francoeur.
Well, Giovatello, strong guy. He's got that. He's built in that Dan Uggla mode. Powerful body, shoots that ball out into right center off the field, and then the little bobble there by B.J. Upton allows Giovatello to get over to third base after Francoeur scores. And where that hurts is now you're forced to pull the infield in. You got a runner at third here with less than 2 outs.
And here is Perez. The pitch is a strike. So with 1 out, Francoeur hustled his way into a double. Giovatello has just tripled him home. Salvador Perez at the plate, and he hits it foul. 2 strikes. Up and down behind Eddie Rodriguez, the third base coach, and into the stands for a souvenir. It's a successful night now with a souvenir. The 0-2, and a fly ball to right. Joyce goes back to make the catch. Here's the tag. Giovatello will score, and it's 2-0, and the rookie catcher made contact on the 0-2 pitch. Got the ball airborne and drives in a run, his first big league RBI.
Yeah, that was a nice at bat there by Salvador. You said down in the count 0-2, he gets a breaking ball down and away, and not only is he able to put it in play, but he's able to get really good plate coverage and get this ball out to right field deep enough. Look at that. That ball's breaking off the plate. He just reaches out there in protection mode and gets enough of it that Matt Joyce really had no play, and Giovatello comes home to score and extends that lead.
Mike Moustakas takes a strike. Two. So just like that, the Royals have put 2 on the board. Pitch is down. 1 ball, 2 strikes. his foot foul. First fastball of the at bat. 2 runs, 4 hits for Kansas City. New York has a 3-0 lead at home in the bottom of the 4th over the Angels. All 2 outside, 2-2. Close, but he missed with the fastball, and the count is now full. It's fouled back. Bases empty, 2 outs, 2 runs home. Tigers have scored 3 in the 4th. They're back in the game at Cleveland. It's 4-3 Cleveland with the Tigers batting in the 4th. It's fouled back. Foul right back over the screen. Two 4-0 for Kansas City. 1-1 for the Rays. Davis left men at 2nd and 3rd in the 3rd inning, and touch for the 2 runs here. Rays will hit the road after tomorrow's game by the Yankees in New York, and we'll be with you at 7 o'clock on Sun Sports. Pitch popped up, foul ball. Chirinos after it. He's going to have a play and makes the catch to retire the side. 2 runs on a couple hits. Bottom of the 4th coming, 2-0 Kansas City. Four. Let's get the answer to our AT&T trivia question. What 3 jersey numbers have been retired by the Kansas City Royals in their history? Well, of course, George Brett, number 5, and the late Dick Hauser, number 10, and Frank White, part of their broadcast crew, number 20. Zobrist shooting one into right center, and he's going to shoot for a double. Cabrera's throw, not in time. 2-base hit for Ben Zobrist. That's his 36th of the year.
Well, Ben Zobrist trying to answer what Jeff Francoeur did in the top half of the inning. Here's your checkers double of the game. First pitch, that nice level swing, keeps it in the zone for a long time. Melky Cabrera with a couple extra steps there before he fires that ball in. That allows Ben Zobrist to go all Superman into second base.
Not the same kind of hang time as the big boy Clark Kent gets, but good enough for a double.
He was safe.
That's right.
Now Casey Kochman. The Rays have a scoring opportunity for the first time since the second inning. It's the leadoff double. 1 ball, no strikes, the count to Kochman. Casey started the night at 338, right now 337. Pitch is up. One thing about Kochman, and Joe Madden pointed this out the other night, that bat is very still and has been for a long time. You watch him when he gets ready to hit. He gets it up to where he wants to start and stays right there.
Just cut out a lot of excess movement.
Yep.
You know, you get the hands up there, you're ready, you see the pitch, and then boom, hands to the baseball.
That's one of the big differences from him now and then in the spring. Pitch is outside, 3-0. He had a lot of movement in that at bat this spring when he was in camp. And that's one of the things when he talked about getting into some habits that he didn't like and ironing all of that out. You know, and you pointed out baseball is a game of repetition.
Yeah.
And he finally got to the point where he wanted to be, and it's very still at the plate. He draws the walk. The Rays have 2 men on with nobody out, and we'll check in with Todd Callis.
Another Ask the Broadcast on website Wednesday. Go to foxsportsflorida.com, click on Game Connect. Casey Kochman, who was just up at the plate, Doreen and Mark both want to know if you guys think he'll be back with the Rays next year.
Well, I think if it's up to Casey, he'd love to be back here. Number one, he loves playing at home, and wanted to, I think from the very beginning, kind of hoped that he might be drafted by the Rays. Now he's landed here. He's put things back together. He's having a spectacular season. So I think he'd like to be back. The pitch outside to B.J. Upton. And I'll tell you, he gives you such a great defensive set every night at first base. And the fact that he's hitting, and the more he's hit, the more extra base power we've seen from him, which is important. That corner spot, normally, you know, a big production spot, and as he's settled in and hit more and more, we've seen more extra base hits from him.
Oh yeah, early in the season he was getting his hits, but they were the you know, the punch and Judy, pushed the ball the other way, grounded up the middle, had some infield hits, and he's still going to do that. I mean, he's still, especially with 2 strikes, you know, he's not afraid to hit with 2 strikes, and he will take the ball the other way, and he will chop balls up the middle. But you're right, we've seen mistakes being driven now, not just put into play and falling in. So I can't think.
Excuse me, I think the other thing we'll see, and we saw the other night, he'll pick his spots to try to drive the ball.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like what Derek Jeter does. Derek Jeter's got that inside-out swing. You know what he's trying to do. Every once in a while, he'll ambush you. And you're right, Kochman, who I think has more power, and obviously going out dead central here, not easy to do. But you're right, he will pick his spots based on game situation, maybe the matchup with the pitch.
Snap throw to first, and they have just picked off Kochman. Boy, the arm of Perez. Bob McClure went to the mound and spent some time talking with Perez and Polino, and I'm not so sure if that wasn't one of the messages he had. And with that great arm, Perez picks off Kochman.
Well, we already saw him making a close play with Matt Joyce out at second. So you know he's more than willing to throw behind runners. That's why you've got to pay attention. You've got to be aware of that. He likes to throw behind runners. And so you've got to watch that secondary lead and make sure that once you take it and there's no action on the play, you really got to kind of, you know, give a nice effort getting back to the bag that you're occupying, because this guy will fire behind you.
DJ takes the 3-1 pitch and pops it foul. Back out of play. 3-2. Lifted toward right. Francoeur will make the catch and the throw back in as Zobrist remains at second base. 2 outs now with a man at second.
Well, celebrate that special occasion by purchasing game-used lineup card, baseball, or autograph items from your favorite Rays players. These one-of-a-kind items can be purchased at RaysBaseball.com/gameday or at the team store at Tropicana Field.
Sam Fold, and he shoots one foul up the right side. But you know, you talk about catchers delivering with their throw down to second base. We saw the great arm of Perez when he picked off Kochman. We saw a good throw and a pickoff attempt at second base. You know, if a catcher could get that ball down there, BA about 1.8 or so, that's pretty good.
Yeah, they want it. You know, they want it under 2.
And they say that that this young man fires the ball down there maybe quicker than 1.8.
That will eliminate a lot of teams' running games. But you see what he does already is when, you know, runner on first base, runner that may run out on the bases, he gets himself into a ready position with the legs. You know, he's not in that same squat that he's in with nobody on. He gets himself ready and up, and you can see he's got the quick twitch going. He gets the hand into the ball out of the glove quick. He doesn't have that really long arm action that takes so much time on.
Watch the pitch. 3-1.
And you can see with the way that he's even been blocking some balls tonight. Very active back there. Athletic type of catcher.
Yep.
See him move well side to side. A lot of bounce. Good looking young catcher.
Three balls and a strike. And a little tap foul. It's 3-2. Runner at second with 2 gone. 3-2 the count. And there's ball 4 upstairs. So that'll put Sam Fold at first. 2 men on, 2 men out. And get Chirinos to the plate. Robinson Chirinos. Chirinos 0 for 1. He grounded out to the third baseman Moustakas his first time. Ground ball, shortstop. Escobar is going to take it to first, and the Rays leave 2. Do not score. Through 4, it's 2-0 Kansas City. Keep Your Edge Spotlight brought to you by Just for Men, Mustache and Beard. And for that, we look at James Shields, who last night went the distance for the 8th time, leading the major leagues in that department. Just as good game James Shields gives the Rays the edge, you can keep your edge with Just for Men, Mustache and Beard. We're headed to go to the 5th inning here. There is James Shields.
Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing?
With the winning beard there. There's a shot by Escobar back toward the corner. Gold will play it back down the line toward third, and Escobar has a double. James, congratulations on the outing last night and on the season. I can't imagine that many pitchers that really in the history of the game have been more consistent than you've been this year.
Yeah, it's been a phenomenal year for me this year. It's definitely gratifying. David Price throwing some stuff at me, but it's definitely gratifying to see the hard work that I put in this offseason and have the results that I've had this year.
So James, last night, what was working? I mean, it looked like pretty much everything was working, but what was the mindset and what was your your go-to last night?
I think for me the fastball location was really big last night. I think over the last couple of games my ball's been down in the zone at the knees, and when my ball's down in the zone at the knees, my changeup gets more effective that way. I had a game in Oakland where my ball was up and my changeup was up, and it wasn't effective. So I think last night for the most part my fastball command was where it needs to be.
Alex Gordon lifts the fly ball to center. Upton positions himself to make a throw. A tag by Escobar, and the throw's not going to be in time. After the catch, Escobar tags and advances to third. He's there with 1 out.
Well, it's funny you say that, James, because that's something that we've noticed coming into that Toronto start after Oakland. It looked like you had made a concerted effort to drive that ball down in the zone, and then the off speed, of course, then play off of that. Watch your back. Watch your back.
Yeah, David Price messing with everybody here. But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely making a conscious effort of it. Me and Hick, we've been really focusing on my fastball location during our bullpen sessions here, and I mean, that's what it's all about, is to be able to locate that fastball first and foremost, and then obviously your off-speed pitches come right behind that.
Cabrera's up here with the infield in, a man at third and 1 out, fouling away that first pitch for a strike. Davis set to his next delivery out of the wind, and the pitch is close. 1 ball and 1 strike.
James, before that start against Toronto, you had gone 6 starts with just 1 win. And as well as you have been throwing the ball all year long, how do you deal with that kind of a stretch mentally? Probably similar to how you're dealing with David Price right now.
Well, actually, that's Shopik right now. He's corrupt. David Price is corrupted Shopik right now. So. But no, I mean, it's just one of those things, man. I mean, it's sometimes you pitch well and you don't get some wins. Sometimes you don't pitch well and you get some wins. So unfortunately, some of the games that I pitched, we haven't gotten some wins out of. But I mean, it's just the way the game goes. Sometimes I got to grind it out from here on out.
Fly ball into right field. Joyce makes the catch and a play at the plate. The throw cut off and then relayed by Kochman. Nobody home at the plate. And Escobar scores on a sacrifice fly. I'm telling you, they've gotten a couple of sacrifice flies on balls that were way down. Perez hit one in the 4th, and let's take a look at this one, hit by Cabrera almost off the ground.
That's what I thought. I thought it did bounce. I don't know how you get the barrel to that ball without hitting the ground.
I'll tell you what, I threw him a 0-2 changeup yesterday. He pretty much hit it off the ground as well.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
I don't know how he even hit the line drive. As a matter of fact, I don't know how he hit it as hard as he did, but he ended up getting barreled to it.
Butler chops to third. Longoria throws him out. That's going to retire the side. James, we appreciate your time in the middle of the game. Beware down there as those guys approach you. And we're looking forward to your next outing.
All right, thanks, guys. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, middle of the 5th. It's 3-0 Kansas City. Kansas City with a couple runs in the fourth and another run in the top of the fifth. And here's Sean Rodriguez leading off against Felipe Paulino. The pitch is a strike. Rodriguez, Joyce, and then Damon. Paulino has limited the Rays to just 2 hits. The pitch is down 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes. We hear that David Price has picked up the headset.
Is that true? Yeah.
Yep.
Well, he's taking a savage beating, so.
Let's get hit in the eye.
Yeah. It's all fun and games unless you're the one doing it.
Oh, boy. What's up, guys?
Hey, your teammates requested that we talk to you.
What are we talking about?
I don't know that we have to talk about anything. They just wanted to get even.
Have you seen the likeness, the David Price superhero along with Astro?
Yeah, I've seen it.
And what's your take on it?
Out ball to Astro.
Get out of there.
To play. 1-6-3.
That's a shirt full of seeds, folks. It's a shirt full of seeds.
I need a shower.
Now here's the replay on that.
There you go. That right there. That was the finishing blow. That's it.
Matt Joyce, he fouls this one back. Strike 1. Takes that one in there. That's a strike. 0-2. How about Matt Joyce hitting leadoff tonight?
Are you asking me?
You know, we're
Yeah,
gonna.
sure.
I like it.
Yeah.
Desmond's pretty good too, but he needs to come. He needs
More
a
of a
day
natural fit.
Yeah.
So DP, going into your next start, what's going to be the focus this time through? This pass through the 5-man, your side work, and your approach going into the next one.
Going out there and giving us a chance to win. You know, I feel like I've thrown the ball all right this year, but nowhere near where I want to be right now, and that's pretty tough. You know, it's tough on me. You know, I'm my own biggest critic, so it's for me to struggle. It's rough on me. It is. I'm sure everybody else thinks it's. Yes, sir. That's gone.
Matt Joyce.
Leadoff guy was
nailed this one into deep right center, and that's home run number 16 to get the Rays on the board. Well, leadoff guy's supposed to get on base. He does that and more, delivering this blow to right center field.
He's Archie Ellsbury.
Just a hanging breaking ball there by Paulino. Stays middle of the plate, and just like David Price made the call, that was a no-doubter. That ball was smoked.
So the Rays get on the board, and here's Johnny Damon. Pitch is down, a ball and no strikes.
Well, David, when you're done with the hijinks,
yeah,
Damon
it's down.
Center, and it's going to be caught by Cabrera. 2 gone.
If there was one area of your game that you would like to see improve the most, if you had to pinpoint one thing, whether it be mental, physical, pitch-wise, what would it be?
Right now, I feel the biggest thing that I need to work on is pitching with runners in scoring position. You know, I felt like that was something that I did very well last year. And obviously, if you pitch well with runners in scoring position, that limits runs, and that, you know, you go further into games and so forth. So if I can limit the base hits whenever runners run second and third, I feel like I'll be all right.
Evan Longoria. Strike 1 to Evan.
Now, do you think that comes down to something that's like a mental approach, pitch selection. You know, when you go about combating something like that, because it's one thing to say, you know, hey, runners in scoring position, I got to do a better job. But how do you go about doing that?
I mean, pitch selection, everything. I mean, you're right on it. It's just you got to be out there. And you got to be a bulldog. You know, I don't feel like I've lost my edge, but I feel like I've thrown the ball. I feel like I'm a better pitcher than I was last year, but I haven't got the same results, and that's the most frustrating thing.
Yep.
All right, well, you got a lot of starts left, and we're looking for good things the rest of the year. We appreciate your time, David.
Thank you.
Home run by Matt Joyce. It's the Rays on the board. We're through 5, and it's 3-1 Kansas City. Cosmer is going to lead it off in the 6th inning. Takes the pitch low. 1-0. He's 0 for 2. Davis broke his bat with the pitch in the 2nd inning. 2-0. The Rays and the Kansas City Royals in a 3-1 game. Cut the foul ball back. 2-1. Wade surrendering 2 runs in the 4th, and he gave up another run in the 5th. And strike 2 squares the count. 3 runs, 5 hits for Kansas City. 4 of their 5 hits have been for extra bases. They have 3 doubles and a triple tonight. Will run the count full, 3-2. Line drive into left. Caught there by Full. That'll be out number 1. Just a reminder, be on the lookout for the Miller Lite Taste Greatness moment coming up later in the game tonight. Taste Greatness moment and a photo op at the same time.
And then just realize cameras are on them, so let's get after it.
Jeff Francoeur, ground ball deep short. Backhand Rodriguez, and to throw into the runner, and Kochman makes the tag. Francoeur is out at first. Rodriguez to Kochman. How about that?
Yeah, nice play all around. That ball was hit hard in the hole. Sean Rodriguez, a nice job of getting to it, fielding it. It's the Home Depot doing more on defense, planting, throwing a bullet. Now this ball's a little bit up the line, but Kochman coming off the bag with the tag. Nicely done. The good thing about the left-handed first baseman is if you just catch that ball and then throw the glove over into the baseline, more than likely the guy's going to run right into it. Your arm has a little bit of give.
Giavotella hitting a high fly ball to center. Upton is there, and it's a 1-2-3 6th. Home half of the inning coming. It's 3-1 Kansas City. Fresh by your local Southern Ford dealers, and by 5-Hour Energy. Fixes tired fast, one shot. Back to work, problem solved. From Tropicana Field, 3-1 the score. We go to the home half of the 6th inning. The Rays are going to see the left-hander Tim Collins entering this game. Felipe Polina finished after 5, and Collins is on.
For the 51st time, an even record 4-4, ERA of 3.44. He's worked the 52 in the 3rd innings, 42 strikeouts.
Well, he may be diminutive in size, but he has a big arm.
Well, he uses his whole body to get into it. You're going to see a guy with the leg kick. He really arches back, tries to get as much as he can into each pitch. Max effort guy.
And the first pitch to Zobrist is bounce foul, strike 1. The young lefty, 5'7" or so. And when he gets loose, he's hit upper 90s with that fastball. Pitch too high. 1 ball, 1 strike. There's a strike. 1 and 2 off speed. Ground ball up the middle. Base hit into center. Zobrist aboard for the 3rd time tonight. So the Rays put the leadoff man on base.
Well, let's take a look at tonight's AutoWay text poll question. Text your vote to 789-789. Standard message and data rates apply. Who has had the bigger bounce back season? TB1, Casey Kochman at the plate now, or TB2, James Shields with bubblegum on hat? A lot of nonsense going on in that dugout tonight.
Yeah, that's right. Casey Kochman. And the ball bouncing in, skips away from Perez. Down to second goes Zobrist. So Ben is in scoring position on the wild pitch charged to Tim Collins. Rays with a chance to dig into this 2-run deficit. There's a strike. 1-1. 5 innings. 84 pitches for Felipe Polino tonight. He gave up a run on 3 hits. Walked 4 and struck out 1. Line drive. There's a base hit into center field. Zobrist's going to be waved around. Cabrera's throw up the line, and the Rays get that run. That makes it a 3-2 ball game. Casey Kochman comes through against the left-hander.
Well, take advantage of Kansas City mistakes. A 2-strike hit to Zobrist, a wild pitch. Now a fastball that's up in the zone, up above the zone. That was up there. Casey Kochman pulls the hands through nicely. But Melky Cabrera's throw way offline allows Zobrist to come home.
Yeah, and we have yet to see that 95, 96 mile per hour fastball. We've seen one at 91, that one at 92. Bob McClure, the pitching coach, heads to the mound.
Well, this is his 51st appearance. You know, he's been out there just a few times less than Joel Peralta, who, I mean, he's had a heavy workload. I mean, Tim Collins, like you said, he may have the big fastball, but the smaller frame, and you get used that much. A little wear and tear, maybe.
Right-hander Coleman up in the bullpen for Kansas City. Yeah, B.J. Upton. B.J. up here, 0 for 2. He bunts the ball, pops it up. It's caught by Perez, and so Upton up there trying to move the runner over, pops it up on the bunt attempt.
Now let's take a look at the Fox mode. You see BJ trying to get the bunt down. That ball's up in the zone. Ball's up there around the letters. Tough to get on top of and get down, and this just gets popped up. Easy play for Perez.
Here's Sam Fuld. The pitch inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Two and 0. Rays have converted the leadoff base hit by Zobrist into a run. Now Kochman's at first with 1 out. And it's a 3-ball, no strike count to Sam Fuld. Strike. 3-1. Is a strike. Now it's 3-2. And Fuld draws the walk. So that pushes Kochman up to second. Fuld has walked 3 times tonight, and Ned Yost comes out to make a pitching change. So that's going to be it for Collins. We'll be back in a moment. in that section. Kansas City with a profound youth movement. 15 rookies this year, and 11 have made their major league debut. Lewis Coleman on to face Robinson Chirinos. That's our Southern Ford leaderboard, by the way. And the first pitch misses, a breaking ball. 1 ball, no strikes.
Coleman with excellent numbers all the way around. ERA under 2, more than a strikeout an inning, and an opponent's average of 178. A lot of deception, cross-firing, sidewinding righty.
Pitch is popped up foul. Perez after it and makes the catch.
You could just see how the deception there. He starts out very closed, and then a real crossfire and reaches out. True sidearm. So to a right-handed hitter, it's got to look like his arm is almost behind you. Trying to pick up that right here. Try to pick up this release point way out there. I mean, it really is just about behind you. Find it, try to react to it, and you start to understand, predominantly used against righties, why his numbers look like they do.
The pitch down and away to Sean Rodriguez, and you talk about a challenge for Rodriguez, whose first move tends to be open, and he's facing this guy to come from where he does. It's a major challenge. Pitch is low. Coleman made a couple of appearances against the Rays over in Kansas City and was very effective. Pitch outside. So Sean's up 3-0. Home in the inning. 2 men on, 2 men out. 3-0 the count. And that's a strike. Coleman out of LSU. And ball 4. He gives up the walk to Sean Rodriguez, and boy, the Rays will feel good about that, because now the bases are loaded and the left-handed bat of Matt Joyce will come up.
Well, in tonight's game and all season long, Tires Plus will donate $100 to the Pediatric Cancer Foundation for every Tampa Bay Rays home run televised on Sun Sports and Fox Sports Florida. There's 100 courtesy of Matt Joyce earlier in tonight's game.
Yeah, he's 2 for 3, hit a home run in the 5th inning. Now he has the bases loaded here in the 6th. And he takes a strike. Hit a 1-2 pitch out into right center field. Too much plate, and Joyce sent it into the seats. The 0-1. It's too low. A ball and a strike. Last outing was on the 7th, 3 days ago. An extended outing, couple of innings. He gave up 3 hits but no runs. That was against the Tigers. Ground ball, that's going to be foul. Chopped up the right side. The count is square at 2-2. runs, 5 hits for Kansas City. 2 runs, 5 hits for the Rays. Coleman, the third Kansas City pitcher, and he's going to talk it over with the rookie catcher Perez. Game right there, the Rays and the Yankees on Friday night. That's a David Price start against KCA Sabathia. We'll be with you at 7 o'clock. Two and two. And it's fouled back. A breaking pitch started wide and started to break toward the plate. Count holds at 2-2.
Now he's been floating that breaking ball in there. Most of them have been bouncing well below the zone. That one stayed away but floated in a little bit more elevated. He gets that further in, Matt Joyce may lose another one.
And that one just a bit wide. He tried to break it over the outside corner. So the count is full. 2 outs, bases loaded. Three-2 the score, 3-2 the count. Here it is, and it's popped up, foul ball. Perez back, will he have a play? He has room, and that retires the side. Joyce fouls out on the 3-2 pitch. Rays leave him loaded through 6, 3-2 Kansas City. Summary. Jeff Francoeur doubled into right center. Johnny Ivatella tripled into right center, and Salvador Perez hit a fly ball to right to play 2 runs in the 4th for Kansas City. They added another run in the 5th. Sacrifice fly by Melky Cabrera. The Rays got one in the 5th on the home run by Matt Joyce, and in the 6th with Casey Kochman's base hit scored Ben Zobrist. So it's a 3-2 ball game as we now move into the 7th inning with Salvador Perez leading it off. He was busy in the bottom of the 6th. Not only was he receiving all the pitches, but he had all the putouts.
Ties the major league record.
Ground ball headed up the middle. Base hit into center for Perez, and he has his first big league hit. He drove in a run already with a fly ball to right in the 4th, and now a leadoff base hit. Let's check in with Todd Callis.
All right, next question, and Ask the Broadcast booth on FoxSportsFlorida.com. Game Connect comes to us from Alan. He wants to know about pitching to different catchers, BA. Jeff Neiman, for example, has thrown to 4 different catchers in his last 5 starts, and the difficulty with that.
Yeah, that's extremely difficult. I mean, that's pretty amazing that Jeff Neiman's been able to stay that consistent. It's one thing when you have 2 catchers on a staff and you're bouncing back and forth between them, but to have 4 out of his last 5 starts, that's where, the work that you do with these guys in spring training, that's why, it's encouraged. You get a lot of these catchers in spring training because there's so many bodies, so many pitchers in camp that you need, a lot of the minor league catchers to come up and help out with the workload. So, you spend a lot of time with them. You throw to them. They'll move catchers around to catch, different guys, bullpens, to see their stuff, see what they feature. And it's your job as a pitcher, really, spend time talking to these guys. Guys that you may see during the course of the year, kind of what you like to do, little skull sessions. And so then when you do get thrown into that situation, it's not as big of a shock to the system as it could be. But all that to say, even if you put all that legwork in, it's not easy. And so, you got to get used to the style, the way that they call pitches, the way that they set up. Every catcher sets up a little differently. And that's where a guy like Jeff Neiman has to say, hey, look, this is what I like. On a ball away, I want you to set here. On a ball in, 2 strikes, I want you way in there. Just different things that you talk throughout the game. But
2-1. Sky deep to right. Joyce will go to the track for it and make the catch in line with the 370 marker. Moustakas is the first out. Back to first goes Perez. Gets Escobar up there. There's J.P. Howell throwing in the bullpen. Indians have taken a 10-3 lead on Detroit. That game's bottom of the 6th, with the Indians still hitting. Oakland leading Toronto 3-1 in the bottom of the 6th inning at Toronto. Pitch up and in to Escobar. 1-0. Twins have a 1-0 lead on Boston. It's in the top of the 4th inning. Lester and Blackburn the pitching matchup. Escobar has been on twice. He reached on an error and then doubled and scored in the 5th inning. Foul out of play. Alcides Escobar. He's done a nice job at shortstop. He leads all shortstops in the league in assists. It speaks to his range. One. There's a strike. Now a ball, 2 strikes. Wade Davis working here in the 7th. Allowing 3 runs, 6 hits on the night. Two. Yankees have a 7-2 lead on the Angels in the top of the 7th in New York. The Angels have loaded the bases with nobody out. Two the count to Escobar. It's fouled back. Runner at first, Salvador Perez. The pitch fouled off the Rays catcher. Still 2-2. Robinson Chirinos adjusting the mask. Rays wrap up the homestand tomorrow with Jeff Neiman against Danny Duffy, the left-hander. They've taken the first 2 games. 2-2 count. Fouled again. Fouled the fastball. Escobar coming over in that trade last December with the Milwaukee Brewers. And he lines this one foul. It's headed into the stands. He's a very good shortstop, and the Royals think he's made steady progress as a hitter, and he's having a pretty good at bat right here.
Yeah, he is. He's spoiling some good pitches. Continues to add on to the pitch count now for Wade Davis, approaching 110.
Just 24 years old, Escobar. And the pitch misses. 3-2. Fastball.
Yeah, when a hitter's up there for this many pitches and he's fouling off a lot of them and fighting, gets pretty comfortable with that, with the release point, the spin on the different pitches, the way it's coming out of your hand. You see 9 or 10 of something, you start to get pretty familiar and comfortable with it, able to take close ones and center the ones that are mistakes.
3-2, and that's inside for ball 4. So he really worked for that walk. And with that, he'll go to first, and Perez is pushed up to second base. And that's going to get Joe Madden out of the dugout. Davis, 111 pitches. Alex Gordon, the left-handed hitter, is due and will go to the bullpen. First and second and one out.
JP on for the 30th time, even record 2-2. 21 innings of work, opponents average at 250.
Wade Davis out after the 10-pitch at bat to Escobar in the walk, and now it's Howell against Alex Gordon. Gordon, the left-handed hitter. JP's pitch low and away, a ball and no strikes. Howell last worked in the Oakland series, pitched on Sunday, an inning and a third in relief of David Price.
Yeah, and in a big spot here, the Rays have chipped away, closed this to within 1 run. Do not want to let Kansas City add on.
JP misses. 2-0. Top of the 7th. Rays At one point trailed 3-0. They've made it 3-1 and now 3-2. And that's too low. 3 straight pitches out of the strike zone, 3-0. Davis worked 6 1/3, gave up 6 hits, 3 runs. Responsible for 2 men on. He struck out 4 and walked 1 in 111 pitches. And that's a strike. Gordon trying to work the walk out of Bill Miller, and he said no. In fact, that was where the second pitch was. 3-1 the count. And there is ball 4 low. So now the bases are loaded for Kansas City. The Rays left them loaded in the bottom of the 6th. The Royals have loaded them in the top of the 7th, and Jim Hickey heads to the mound with Melky Cabrera due up.
Well, Sundays on Fox Sports Florida, join Tom Brokaw for Boys in the Hall. Personal stories of some of baseball's greatest legends. This week, it's Yogi Berra. Boys in the Hall, Sundays, presented by Subway Restaurants, where winners eat.
So Brandon Gomes, the right-hander, loosening in the bullpen. Bases are loaded. And Melky Cabrera, the switch-hitting outfielder, is going to be up there. And Cabrera this year came into this game hitting .304. .304 from the right side, .304 from the left side. We're sitting right-handed here against J.P. Howell. And the pitch is skied into left center. Bowled over to make the catch. There's a tag at third by Perez. He's going to score. The throw heads to third. So the sacrifice fly gets the run home. The run charged to Davis, and that makes it 4-2.
And Cabrera wasting no time trying to drive a run in. He got a fastball up out over the plate. Flies out to left field, and the Royals get that run back.
2 outs with men at first and second, and now it's Billy Butler. Butler 0 for 3 tonight. The pitch is a strike. Putting .327 against lefties. 300 with men in scoring position. Down and in. Nice stop by Chirinos. It's 1-1.
That ball looked like it almost went between the legs of Billy Butler. Really yanking on this curveball. Some late bite to it. Chirinos fortunate that he came up with it.
Escobar's at second. Gordon's at first. Butler the hitter. There's a strike. Now it's 1-2. Butler. The pitch made, down and in. Another good block by Chirinos.
Yeah, it really is, because these breaking balls, JP is really yanking them down to the feet of Billy Butler. So not only do you have a ball breaking down and in, but you're getting screened out by Butler. You got to move over there. Look how close that is. I mean, that is a tough read there for a catcher, and he's doing a nice job of keeping it in front of him.
facing his third hitter. Runners are going to go. A swing and a miss. Butler's out on strikes to retire the side. 1 run scores for Kansas City. 7th inning stretch time. It's 4-2 Kansas City.
The 7th, we head to the bottom of 7th and back up by 2. We're going to experience a Rays game from the all-inclusive Whitney Bank Club, offering extraordinary seating and luxurious lounge and dining areas. The Whitney Bank Club features an upscale full-menu buffet and inclusive drink options. Call 888-FAN-RAYS or go to RaysBaseball.com to purchase tickets or just for more information.
Johnny Damon leading off the bottom of the 7th. 1 strike to count. Longoria and Zobrist to follow. Coleman still out there for Kansas City. And Johnny's out in front of that pitch.
A little changeup. Yeah, you know, and Johnny Damon is expecting that ball to come in towards him, whether it be the fastball or the breaking ball, and that was a changeup that kind of feathered out there, and he got caught.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Johnny pops it up. Perez after this one, and he takes care of that. How about that for Perez? The last 4 outs have all been on putouts to the catcher, Perez.
You would think that would be the 7th. You think that would be closing in on some sort of record. I mean, 4 straight outs, pop-ups to the catcher.
Yep. You don't see that very often, do you?
No, never. I've never seen him be able to clear out an inning like he did in the bottom of the 6th.
Evan Longoria takes a pitch outside. One and 1 to count.
Boy, nice job there by Perez of freezing that breaking ball. Looked like it may have dropped out of the zone, but strong hands and wrist. He keeps that right there at the bottom, right at the knees. That's where a catcher can really make a difference and work for you and help you out. You know, you're working down the bottom of the zone or on the corners. Boy, if they can be aggressive and go out and get that pitch and really freeze it there and not have to pull it back in, because that sudden movement, a lot of times you pull a pitch off the plate back on, umpire's not going to give it to you. But if you can go out and aggressively meet it and freeze it there, you get the call sometimes.
2 balls, 2 strikes, that pitch away. One out, base is empty. And a swing and a miss. Longoria is out on strikes for the 2nd straight time. So Coleman picks up his first strikeout.
Watch how far out he reaches and then yanks a breaking ball back across. That ball travels so far, starting from the hip of Evan Longoria, sweeping all the way across the plate. Tough to lay off of sometimes.
Ben Zobrist takes a look at a pitch down. 1-0. Ben has walked, doubled, and singled, and has scored a run. Two and 0. Two outs with the bases empty. And he takes a strike. 2-1. It's a strike. 2-2. Foul ball off his foot. Still a count of 2-2. Zobrist walks it off. He's got a run off Polino and one off Collins. Coleman came on, issued a walk to load the bases, and they've got a big out when Joyce fouled out on a 3-2 pitch that left the bases loaded in the 6th inning. Kansas City then added another run in the 7th. 2-2 the count to Ben Zobrist. He lifts one foul that's out of play. The Rays, after their 62nd win of the year, they won 8 out of their last 12. And to make the most of this homestand and stay relevant in the wild card race. Ben fouls it. You'll see another pitch. And that's outside. So an extended at bat to work the count full. We're up to 9 pitches now. And it's popped up. Another foul ball, and Perez is going to catch this one. He does it again. He's taken care of 5 of the last 6 putouts. We go to the 8th, 4-2 Kansas City. We go to the 8th, and Eric Hosmer is going to lead it off. J.P. Howell out there, and the first pitch is a strike. You know, if you look at the last couple of innings, Perez actually has made the last 7 putouts because there were 2 strikeouts and then 5 pop fouls, at least 4 pop fouls, and one that was in fair territory that he took care of. 2 strikes to count. So he's taking care of 5 pop-ups and 2 strikeouts, and the last 7 putouts have been made by the rookie catcher Salvador Perez. To the opposite field, and deep. Vold is back and makes the catch. Well, Hosmer is retired.
Well, hey, Rays fans, you can win a VIP baseball experience presented by Captain Morgan. Go to www.raysbaseball.com/captain to enter.
The right-handed hitter, Francoeur, is due. Joe Madden comes out of the dugout, and he's going to make a pitching change. That's it for JP. We'll be back in just a moment. The 8th, Brandon Gomes, the new Rays pitcher, faced the right-handed bat of Jeff Francoeur.
The 24th time, Brandon Gomes awfully tough against righties.
The pitch is upstairs.
He's got that little side winder action too, little low 3/4 arm angle, kind of like Coleman, but not nearly the deception as far as across the body. Same kind of slot.
And that's a check swing on the appeal. 1-1 to count on Francoeur. What do you think? Let's take a look.
That is right on the edge. Edge walker.
And there's a pitch right on the edge. And that's a strike. 1-2.
It's kind of like you get sometimes, Dwayne. Little edge walker up here.
Let's keep you honest. Foul ball right back into the screen. So Gomes, pitcher number 3. Six and a third innings for Wade Davis. J.P. Howell got credit for 1 full inning. Francoeur doubled and scored in the 2-run 4th. bump. Foul ball right side. Chirinos gives it a chase, but it's out of play. Johnny Giovatella is on deck. The way we send our best wishes to Alex Cobb. He'll have a surgical procedure Friday to remove a blockage near his right rib. That had been the problem with the hand and the right arm. There's a swing and a miss at the fastball, and Francoeur is out on strikes. And Alex, who's been so impressive with his performance on the mound and his demeanor, 3-2 through 9 starts, and he was relieved to, number one, know what the problem was, and to know that it is not career threatening of any sort. The Rays expect things to go well and have him back in the spring. Pitch to the second baseman. Giovatella is a ball inside, 1-0. So Alex Cobb certainly made his mark up here and continued to be impressive.
Yes, he did. 3 different stints.
1-0. Hop fly short center. Upton makes the catch. 1-2-3. In the 8th, we go to the bottom of the frame. 4-2 Kansas City.
You know, there's sometimes
getting late. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The Rays down to the final 6 outs. They trail by 2. It's a 4-2 ball game. Greg Holland, the 4th pitcher of the night, will come on for Kansas City. Rays will have Kochman, Upton, and Fold due up.
On for the 29th time, a 3-1 record, a sterling 1.37 earned run average. How about the strikeouts? 49 in 39 in the 3rd innings. Greg Holland, a big arm. Kansas City, they're very happy with their bullpen.
First pitch to Kochman is down, a ball and no strikes.
You see, that was a slider there by Holland, and because of his arm angle, that ball almost has the appearance of really going straight down.
2-0. Pitch caught the inside corner. It's 2-1. The Rays saw Holland in an extended outing in Kansas City. He pitched 3 innings in a game over there in relief of Jeff Francis. Which is foul down the left side near the bullpen and beyond. Out of play. And the catch made. Just beyond the bullpen. Well, he packed that glove and he had a reason.
How about it? It's awesome right here once he pushes the little kid out of the way. There you go. That was a good box out right there. A box out with the glove.
Pretty good rebound.
To his buddy, absolutely.
2-2. Casey takes ball 3 and the count is full. Now Holland came on, pitched 3 innings of 1-hit baseball, gave up a run and struck out 6 in 3 innings against the Rays over in Kansas City. It's a game the Rays eventually won in 10 innings, 5-4. Ground ball headed toward the middle, but Escobar hasn't played there and throws him out.
We saw a lot of teams do that to Casey Kochman a little earlier in the year, is take that shortstop and really slide him up the middle because of his penchant for going up the middle. The way that he started to combat that is he really started to slap the ball the other way, and then for a time teams kind of went back and played him more traditional, and you see that adjustment made again, and this time it works out for the Royals.
Pitch to Upton, low and outside. Cleveland beat Detroit 10-3. Jason Kipnis went 5 for 5. How about that?
I'm going to tell you what, that kid has come up and really done a job for the Indians.
He missed the cycle by the triple. Didn't have the triple.
Wow.
2-0 the count.
That was a big series with Detroit. Of course, they won last night on a walk-off hit by pitch in the 14th inning after a couple of rain delays. They were playing just as we were getting in, Dwayne.
That's right. Yeah, and usually they'd have to be playing early in the morning, but it was early in the evening last night. Quite a change. Maybe I should just speak for you and not me. You're a lot younger.
I couldn't. Yeah, but you kept up.
2-1. The pitch is down. It's 3-1. Yeah, Cleveland's only 2 back of Detroit now. One out, bases empty. Cut and miss by Upton. 3-2. Waldo Jimenez went 8, won that game. The Indians. Upton fouls the fastball. Pitch in the mid-90s. Felipe Polino worked the front 5. Collins, then Coleman. Now Holland. DJ fouls another one out of play. At least the ground ball handled by Escobar stopped the put-out string of the catcher Perez at 7. And this one is pop foul out of play. 3-2 pitch again. And Upton walks. The Rays get a base runner. Sam Fuld will be up here. He's walked 3 times already tonight. Rays have drawn 7 bases on balls. Pitch. Cole takes a fastball up. 1 ball, no strikes. Desmond Jennings has moved into the on-deck circle. Chirinos do, but Jennings is a bat and is on deck. There's a line drive, base hit. Cora returns it from right field. Upton stops at second, and the Rays have men at first and second with 1 out.
Well, continually falling behind, you know what you're going to get from Derek Holland, and that's that fastball, but his arm angle, it's got a lot of velocity, but not a lot of movement. It's like an Iron Mike. Look at this thing. Just straight as an arrow. Middle in, Sam Fuld, he's already geared up for the heater, ahead in the count. He just shoots one out into right field, and now the Rays 2 on, 1 out, down by a deuce.
And it's Desmond Jennings to pinch hit. Hitting .328 with 3 home runs and 11 runs batted in. Upton second base, Fuld at first. Rays trail by 2. Jennings takes a strike at the knees.
It was that short little slider. Derek Holland figuring, hey, these guys are sitting fastball and come with that slider. And I'll tell you what, you look at where Alcides Escobar is, way up the middle. There is a huge hole on the left side. I mean, look at all that room you got right here. Play with.
Swing and a miss at the fastball, and that one at 95.
I mean, Moustakas is even with the bag right at the cut, and he's moving back now and give himself a little bit more range. But Escobar really shading up the middle along with Giavotella.
Yeah, you
right side, left side.
Pinched.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. There is a ton of room either way.
And it's low. Covered up by Perez.
Here's that slider again, and right off the plate. That ball, when it skips off the plate, it almost like gathers speed. So nice job by Perez to get ready quickly, because that ball could have got into his midsection before he'd be ready for it.
Yeah, and boy, he does a lot of things correctly.
He sure does.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Ground ball, right side, base hit. Out of the reach of the second baseman. Here comes Upton in to score. Throw to third. Fuld gets in there safely. And into second goes Jennings. Rays cut the deficit to 1 on an RBI single by Jennings, who comes off the bench to drive home Upton. Fuld goes to third, and Jennings up to second base.
Well, we talked about all the room right and left side with the middle infielders pinched up the middle. And look what he does. Just outside of the dive of Giavotella. And then Francoeur. This outfield leads Major League Baseball in assists. But his throws tonight, especially to third, have been offline, whether they're down the line a little bit or up the line. That one up the line. Sam Fuld able to get it on the slide. Desmond Jennings hustles into second base, and now the Rays down just by a run with runners on second and third and 1 out.
Sean Rodriguez at the plate. Jennings at second. Fold at third base. It's a 4-3 ball game. And Rodriguez shows the bunt. Snapped out to third, and Fold is picked off third by Perez. Fold is picked off. Boy, Perez has shown off that arm tonight in his major league debut. He picked off Kochman back in the fourth inning at first, and he gets Fold, who could not get back to third in time.
Well, Rodriguez takes a jab at the bunt and then pulls the bat back, and Perez wasted no time. Moustakas heading back to the bag to throw ahead of Fold. That's a good call. They did get him. Big arm. He's gotten one at first, one at third. Wow. And had a close play out at second with Joyce.
Yes, he did. 1-0 the count. Rodriguez did take the bat back. Now he swings and misses.
Actually, if you're a Rays fan, Salvador Perez is doing too many things right.
Yes, he is.
And welcome to the big leagues.
Well, he has lived up to that scouting report we got on him. 1-1 the count. And Rodriguez misses this one. A ball, 2 strikes.
Well, you got to hope he hangs one of them. That's a nasty short break, pretty good velocity.
Three ball game. And a high foul up the right side. Threw him a fastball, and that hit 97.
Yeah, well, you know, Sean Rodriguez, if anything, fastball hitter. So Holland's going to throw him a heater. He's going to put a little bit more on it, and he's going to throw it up in the zone. Okay, now he gets the foul ball. Trying to go for the punch out there up. Gets the foul ball. So now what? That's right. Come with that slider back down just like the previous pitch. There it comes.
The 1-2. And Sean lays off. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Trying to change that eye level. And if I were Holland, I'd throw 2 more. But I'm not, so we'll see what he does.
Delivery, and Rodriguez did go that time. He threw him a slider, and he could not hold up. Rays settled for 1. We're through 8, 4-3 Kansas City. Light tastes great this moment, a number of them. Salvador Perez making his major league debut behind the plate for Kansas City. He went through that stretch where he had 7 consecutive putouts on 5 pop-ups and a couple strikeouts. He just finished picking off Sam Fold in third. Earlier he had picked off Casey Kotzman. This guy's throws are not only arriving in a hurry, but they're right where they should be.
And how about that throw down to second to try to pick off Matt Joyce to the right side of the bag? Not to mention the one to get Kotzman, how quick that was, the throw down to first. And I'll tell you what, all the scouts taking a look at this game are like, okay, you tell the guys, be easy on those secondary leagues. As far as when they get out there, they better get back in a hurry.
Yeah, he's had a big night. One strike to count. He got his first big league run batted in the 4th, his first big league hit in the 7th, and he scored a run in the 7th. He's picked 2 base runners off. He's made a number of great stops behind the plate. Kansas City had projected him as their everyday catcher next year and wanted to get him up here to get him some big league time. Well, you can understand why they would project him where they have him, slotted. Pitch is down. Kelly Shoppach now catching for the Rays. Chirinos lifted for the pinch hitter.
And just to add to it, he's already announced through a spokesman that he will be going into the Hall of Fame as a Royal.
Well, he's had a great start.
And showing no fear, too. You know, not in the spotlight, not bothering this kid. You know, sometimes you get a little gun-shy back there, but the game that he has played in the minor leagues coming up is the game that he's playing tonight. Aggressive with those throws. You think about that quick fire down to third. That's a bad throw, and the Rays may have the lead right now.
Brandon Gomes on the hill, the 2-2, and it's fouled back. Davis worked 6 1/3, charged with 4 runs. Howell 1 inning. Gomes got the last 2 outs in the 8th. He starts the 9th. Count is full. Drive down toward the bullpen. Foul. Three-2 and a high fly ball back into left field. Pulled to the track. And a couple steps from the wall makes the catch. So Perez, a deep fly ball to the warning track and left for the first out in the 9th.
Well, let's take one last look at our Autoway text poll question. Text your vote to 789-789. Standard message and data rates apply. Who has had the bigger bounce back season? TB1, Casey Kotzman, or TB2, James Shields?
The results in the Rays Live, the postgame. Moustakas takes a strike. Yankees have beaten the Angels 9-3. Curtis Granderson with 2 home runs tonight to give him 31 on the year. Cano hit one as well, his 19th. Foul back by Moustakas, 0-2. Popped up. Goria's there and makes the catch. That takes care of Moustakas. 2 outs. Alcides Escobar will be the hitter. He's been on 3 times. Reached on an error. He doubled and scored in the 5th. Had an extended at bat in the 7th inning of 10 pitches and drew the walk. He was the last man Davis faced in this game. Pitch is outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Boston batting in the top of the 7th at Minnesota. The Twins lead 2-0. Blackburn still in there in the 7th inning. He's given up 5 hits so far and no runs. Two and one here. We're in the top of the 9th, and the Rays are down by a run, 4-3. Up the right side, fair. Down beyond the bullpen. Joyce with the pickup. Escobar's in with a stand-up double. On base for the 4th time. That's his 2nd double of the night.
Well, you certainly don't expect Alcides Escobar to go right up the first base line, but that's exactly what he did. He gets this ball away and just cues that ball. You see Casey Kochman well off the line.
Now the left-handed bat of Alex Gordon is due. That's going to be it for Gomes, and Jake McGee will get the call. We'll step aside and return in a moment. Gordon due. Escobar is at second base with 2 gone.
Jake on for the 24th time. 16 1/3 innings of work, 15 strikeouts. His job here is to come in, get Alex Gordon, get out of this inning, give the Rays one last chance. Just a 1-run deficit.
Gordon's 0 for 3 with a walk tonight. And a swing and a miss, strike 1. He started this series 0 for 37 here at the Trop. And he got that double his first time up. 1 for 11 in this series, and 1 for 48 lifetime at Tropicana Field. And behind in the count, 2 strikes.
How about this breaking ball by Jake McGee? Look at him staying nice and tall, getting that out in front with the spin.
One ball, 2 strikes. Escobar on second. McGee trying to get the final out, keep the deficit at 1. Rays have 1 shot left. It's fouled. Fastball.
Well, you talk about an emergency hack. That ball just over the Kansas City dugout. That was 96, getting on you in a hurry.
The last pitch he saw was, I think, 79. Then it went to 96.
Yeah. I don't get that kind of swing.
1-2, runner goes. There will be no throw. Third base not covered, and Escobar advances to third. So he'll get credit for his 16th stolen base of the year. A 2-2 count to Gordon. 2-2 in the dirt, blocked by Shopik. And now it's a full count.
Not an easy block there by Kelly either, because this ball was out in front of the plate. You know, it's one thing if a ball's bouncing right in front of you to smother it. Look what this is. I mean, that is right in front of home plate. That ball can skip anywhere. Does a nice job of keeping that right in the center of his body and in front.
3 balls, 2 strikes. And ball 4. So McGee with a fastball down walks Gordon. It's first and third with Melky Cabrera, the switch hitter, due. Jim Hickey trots to the mound. Blue Jays have beaten Oakland 8-4. Brett Lowry at his second home run. This one a grand slam. David DeJesus homered for Oakland. He only hit 1 in that game. He has 8 for the year. So he has 3 two-homer games and 2 single homer games. 8 for the year.
They victimized Jake McGee. Oakland was in town. Fastball, inner half.
The Orioles have beaten the White Sox 6-4 in 10 innings. Here's Melky Cabrera. And a shot back into left field. Cole going back. He's on the track, and it's going to get out of here. A home run. An opening fastball to Cabrera, and he hits it out. A 3-run shot for Melky Cabrera. He has driven in 5 runs tonight, and that makes it a 7-3 ball game.
Well, low ball hitter, perhaps. We've seen him in this series go down and get some balls below the zone. He got Shields last night, got one earlier in the game. Tonight off Davis. And how about that? A fastball way down there. Be a heck of a golfer.
Here's a strike to Butler. One of those runs charged to Gomes, and the other 2 to Jake McGee. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Swing and a miss. That takes care of Butler. But a 3-run inning. And we go to the bottom of the ninth with Kansas City leading 7-3. Tonight by 30 minutes or less in theaters August 12th. Rated R. By Pepsi Max. Go to 2012springbaseball.com for a chance to win a trip for you and 9 friends. By Checkers. Feast on. And by Mercedes-Benz, located on the web at MBUSA.com. We go to the bottom half of the ninth inning here. It's a 7-3 ball game. Greg Holland had been out there on the mound, and Joakim Soria had been throwing in the bullpen, but that 3-run blast by Melky Cabrera has changed the complexion of this ball game now. And so Holland went out to warm up before they could go to the bullpen again to get Crow in here, Aaron Crow, and we'll be back with the bottom of the ninth in a moment. It's a 7-3 ball game now. 1 inning for Holland, 2 hits and a run. Gave up a walk and picked up a strikeout, and now Aaron Crow comes on to face the top of the order. Pitcher number 5 for Kansas City.
Another pitcher coming out of this Royal bullpen with good numbers.
And the pitch is a strike. Strikes here. Breaking ball on that one. All 2 strikes. Joyce, Damon, and then Longoria due up here. intercepted by a person on the field. And he's being escorted off the field, firmly so.
A nice tandem tackle.
Really got a nice run in, and
he did. Nice and out of breath, and then got smoked. Beautiful.
So it's a 1-2 count when play does resume here shortly. A photo op on the other end of things. The other guy's going to have a photo op as well.
Except he'll have numbers under his.
Yep. 1-2 now to Joyce.
From a couple different angles, too.
Yeah, that's good.
Front and the side.
Pitch is down. 2-2. The Crow had a very good first half. His pitch is fouled. And he had a couple of physical issues to deal with. We saw him here for an inning on Monday, and he came out of that game with a ground ball and a base hit into right field. Came out of the game Monday saying that he was feeling a little better, but we'll see how it goes here. At any rate, Soria is up and throwing again in the bullpen with Crow in here in the bottom of the ninth inning, and what is a 4-run game right now. The result of Melky Cabrera's home run. The pitch is a strike. The home run Cabrera hit off Jake McGee, the third he's given up in his last 3 outings. Damon fouls one. Fastball at 94. That was pretty crisp. 2 strikes. Damon takes it too close. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Ground ball and a base hit into right. The Rays have the first 2 men on base. The Rays trying to force the issue here.
Get that tying run to the plate. That's going to get Ned Yost out of the dugout down to Soria.
Yep. Well, he got Soria back up, and apparently all of Crow's problems are not behind him. And he's going to depart after giving up base hits to Joyce and Damon. We'll be back in a moment. The ninth inning. And that forces a pitching change and gets Joakim Soria, the closer, into the game for Kansas City.
Looking to close this one out. Saves 21 out of 27. A lot of decisions, 5 and 4, 48 and 2/3 innings of work. He will have to cut right through the heart of this Rays order here. 4-run lead, 2 runners on, nobody out, bottom of 9.
Rays down 7-3. There's Longoria. Evan 0 for 4 tonight, but 3 out of 4 lifetime against Joakim Soria. And he takes the pitch upstairs. 1 ball, no strikes. Zobrist behind him is 2 out of 3 with a home run off Soria. And there's a base hit into left center field. Joyce will score. Over to third goes Damon. Back to second on a 2-base hit goes Longoria. And the Rays make it 7-4. The run charged to Crow on the 2-base hit by Longoria, his 63rd run batted in.
Now this ball tracking away from Longoria, but good plate coverage. Goes down and gets it, lines it out there, and then the throw by Cabrera. Evan probably would have stayed at first, but he turns and flips that ball in towards third, and Evan wisely moves up. And now you've got a 3-run lead and runners on second and third and nobody out. Rays with a golden opportunity.
Now Ben Zobrist becomes the potential tying run. And the pitch is outside, a ball and no strikes. Zobrist with 2 hits tonight. He walked in the first, doubled in the fourth, and singled in the 6th inning. It is 2 for 3 with a home run off Soria lifetime. There's the strike. It's 1-1. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 9th inning. And the Rays have a run home. Chopper right side. Giovatella will make the throw to first. The run comes in. Zobrist picks up a run batted in. That makes it 7-5. That run charged to Crow. Longoria now at third. Casey Kochman is the hitter, and he represents the potential tying run. Kochman with a ground ball. Backhanded. Giovatella still makes the play, but it cannot be scooped at first. The run scores. The Rays have scored 3 here in the inning, and they've made it a 1-run ball game. Kochman is safely aboard at first. Giovatella tried to backhand it, could not do it cleanly. And so Kochman drives in a run.
Well, he had a couple chances there. Didn't come up with it cleanly, number 1. Ended up recovering in enough time to make the throw. Does a little hop throw here. He recovers. Little jump throw. Ball bounces Hosmer. The ball was there in time. It just could not come up with a tough scoop. Kochman's aboard. Race right back in it. That didn't take very long.
Elliott Johnson is the pinch runner. Upton swings and misses on the first pitch. That's a base hit for Kochman. He picks up his 2nd run batted in. It's now 7-6 with 1 out, and B.J. Upton at the plate.
Well, you know right now B.J. Upton is looking to end this.
Time called here just as Soria was set to make his delivery. The 0-1. It's foul out of play. 0-2. Upton looking for his first hit off Soria. He's 0 for 4 against him. Rays have 3 runs, 4 hits here in the inning. And Upton strikes out. The breaking ball got him.
He took something off it too. Dropped that curveball, swept it off the plate, and took it below 70 miles an hour. So trying to get him with the break and the speed. Slow break.
Now Sam Fuld. Fuld has been on base 4 times. He singled his last time. Walked each of the first 3 times up there. He takes it too low. Ball, no strikes. Rays have out hit Kansas City 11-8, but they trail 7-6. Sam takes the pitch. That's a strike. It's 1-1. Kansas City scored 3 in the top of the 9th on the home run by Cabrera. The Rays have scored 3 in the bottom of the 9th with a runner at first and a toss over there. Johnson is back in. Two outs. And a shot toward right center field. That ball will be in there. Extra bases. Johnson's going to score to tie it. Fuld digs for 3, and the ball skips by it. Moustakas. Here comes Fuld, headed to the plate. Rays win. Rays win it to the bottom of the 9th. How about that for a finish? Sam Fuld triples into right center field and scores when the throw to third gets by the third baseman. And the Rays win it in the bottom of the 9th inning, 8-7. Are you believing this? The Rays score 5 in the bottom of the 9th inning and win this one 8-7. What a finish as Sam Fuld truly finishes a perfect night. 3 walks, a single and a triple, and he scores on the throwing error that skipped by Moustakas. After he had driven in the tying run, he scores the winning run. And the Rays come away winners tonight, 8-7. Well, it all started with the base hit by Joyce, and it ends on this shot off the bat of Sam Fuld, who triples up the alley.
Well, Sam Fuld, we haven't seen his magic in a while. Had a ball, smoked it. That's going to tie the game, and then the throw here. Sam Fuld, that late aggressive head first slide. The ball looked like it went off his shoe. And once it got by him up against that slow wall, Perez, who's done a lot right tonight, could not get that plate blocked. And Sam Fuld gets mugged. How about that?
So the Rays pull this one out with 5 in the bottom of the 9th inning against Crow and Soria. McGee's going to get the win, Soria the loss, and the Rays have taken the first 3 games of this series. Right now, let's go to the field where Todd Callis is standing by as Sam Fuld gets a chance to catch his breath.
I don't know if he has or not. Can you talk?
Barely, yeah.
What were you thinking there? Soria, a little bit on the ropes there. You guys were on that in that big rally. What were you looking for? What'd you see?
I'm looking for a fastball. I know he throws a lot of them. Not trying to get the game-winning RBI or game-tying RBI, just kind of trying to extend the inning. But, every now and then I get an extra base hit, and And who knows? I mean, you can't write that up any better.
All right, I'll ask a long question so you can catch your breath. We're going to take a look at it here. Take us around the bases here.
You know, anytime you hit a ball in the right center gap, you're thinking 3. And, you know, I hesitated a little bit.
That was Evan Longoria getting it with a pie as we were reliving that moment. So we'll let Sammy clean up. Sam Folds dealing with everything right now. He's out of breath. All right, we're going to show you guys the pie while Sam cleans up. He's describing the play. Evan Longoria gets it. All right, so pick it up where you left off. You were heading to third there, and then Foley screaming at you. Did you know the ball got away?
No, I mean, Foley. A good thing Foley yelled loud because I wasn't going anywhere. I was just happy I was safe at third. But once I saw the ball kick off, you got to be aggressive there. Game-winning run with 2 out. You got to do it.
This is part of your nature. You've got a shirt that's ripped apart. I mean, that's shredded. You got shaving cream all over. That was the dog pile. That wasn't from the head first slide.
I don't know. Who knows?
And then you came away with some of your equipment off. Did they just absolutely crush you at home plate?
Yeah, I got fleeced. Definitely. Yeah, I knew it was coming. But I figured I'd just lie there and wait for them to jump on me. So, man, that's the first time I've been dogpiled on. Hopefully it's the last.
All right, I'm watching for any other pies, so you don't have to worry about that. As you're running down the third base line, do you have any idea? Are you trying to avoid the angle? Are you thinking more first base side? Because it looked like that the young catcher had at least that one corner blocked off.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that throw would probably be on their dugout side, so I figured my best chance would be coming this side towards us. But there's a lot of instinct there, not a lot of thinking going on.
I know that was a crazy night for you, Sam. You were on base all 5 times, and he got you once earlier, the young catcher, so I know it must have felt good to get him back at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I felt bad about getting picked off there.
Just a safety squeeze where you're trying to get a big jump.
Yeah, just trying to be aggressive, and I guess it's easy to look back and regret it, but I mean, you got to be aggressive in those situations. But it definitely looked bad at the moment.
Your aggressiveness paid off at the end. Go catch your breath. Thank you, Sam.
Well, thank you.
What a wild finish, guys. Sam Fold with the game winner, the triple, and then he scores on the air. Back to you.
And wild is the appropriate word. 8-7, the Rays win it. They score 5 runs on 5 hits. The triple by Fold ultimately tied it. The throwing error charged to the second baseman allowed Fold to scamper home. And the Rays are winners. They've taken the first 3 games of this series, winning tonight 8-7. Day game tomorrow. We'll be with you on Friday night on Sun Sports in high definition. First game of the road trip against the Yankees. We'll be with you at 7 o'clock. Now for Brian Anderson and Todd Callis and the rest of our award-winning crew. This is Dwayne Stats. Hope you've enjoyed the telecast. We'll see you next on Rays Live, the postgame.